We'll go to Joe Bettner with the first question, and then Jason Kersey. Joe?
Jeremiah, I know you tweeted about it already, but I was curious if you could maybe touch on just the impact that Shane Beamer has had on you the 2 years he's been here since coming in 2018.
Yeah. You saw my tweet. Like I said on it, truly one of the most caring and genuine coaches I've ever met. He's helped me develop me as a player. He's not the type of person to micromanage. Um, he he kind of just lets me go out there and play, and it's he's my coach, but at the same time, he's my friend. And you can't really say that about too many people. And I'm sad to see him go. I truly am. But at the same time, I couldn't be happier for him because his happiness is important to me too, as well as his family. And so I'm happy for him.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Jason Kersey, and then Ryan Aber.
Hey, Jeremiah. Coach Riley was just on here and said he didn't really think anyone on the offense played particularly well the other night. I'm just wondering, what do you attribute that to, that performance, and how did you think you played personally?
Well, starting with me personally, obviously I made a few mistakes out there. Most obvious, the sack I gave up and the drop ball I had, and some other smaller things. But yeah, me personally, I didn't think I played my best game. Honestly, that was probably one of my worst games here. And I don't really attribute that. I don't really connect that to anything else. I'm really not sure, to be honest. It's the practice we had last week. It wasn't bad, but I think that with the amount of guys that we were missing, we kind of pulled back a little bit in terms of our physicality and our pace during the game, and that obviously translated to the game. You can't just arrive on Saturdays and expect things to go your way if you didn't practice with the intent to go out there and play physical and get the job done. So I think we were a little bit too casual last week in practice. That's probably what I would connect it to. And at the same time, that's no excuse. So this week we've definitely stepped it up a notch already, yesterday and today, and we're going to be better this weekend.
Thanks, man.
Okay, let's go to Ryan Aber and then Eric Bailey.
Yeah, Jeremiah, given some of those struggles that you just mentioned, is it a benefit to be playing this weekend, or how important is it to play this game this weekend leading into the Big 12 title game, as opposed to if you had struggled and had 2 weeks to think about it and not have a game right in front of you?
Well, first off, we're competitors here at the University of Oklahoma. This team competes. So no matter what game we have on the schedule, we're going to go out there and we're going to prepare and we're going to play our hearts out every single week. The Big 12, that's not really in our minds right now. It's not really a topic of conversation. Yes, we know that we're in the game. Yes, we know that we're in it. Like there's no reason why we would be relaxed this week. If anything, we need to take this week to prove to ourselves how great of an offense we are. We need to go out there this week and dominate and go into the Big 12 championship with confidence in ourselves after we get the job done this week. So yeah, we're not really looking ahead. We're locked in on West Virginia this week.
Appreciate it, Jeremiah.
Eric Bailey and then Kerry Murdoch.
Hey, Jeremiah, just one more Shane Beamer question. I wanted to ask you about your favorite memory of him while you're playing for him. I'm assuming getting a headbutt and then seeing him get stitches is probably up there. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah, definitely the stitches is something that sticks out to me just because it was everywhere. After it happened, it was on ESPN, it was on Bleacher Report, it was on Student Sports Daily. They talked about it. You guys talked about it. So whenever I think about my coach, that's definitely a top memory that comes to mind. As well as a a lot of other things, like when I score a touchdown or when the guys score a touchdown, he'll come out there and he'll give us a hug. But we always make sure not to bump heads. So every touchdown after that is kind of memorable. But yeah, him getting stitches is definitely the top one.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Kerry Murdoch and James Hale.
Hey, Jeremiah, I was curious if you could talk about what stood out about watching Spencer Rattler go through this year. I mean, he's a guy that never played a snap, and he was a Heisman, betting, not the favorite, but like you could bet on him to win the Heisman before the year started. Never played, and just to follow, the quarterbacks that he's followed. What have you come to appreciate most about how he handled this year?
I've come to appreciate the quarterback and the person he's become, because I could never imagine never playing a snap of college football and being, selected to possibly win the Heisman. That's like unheard of. It's not normal. So immediately off the gate, before you even take a snap, you're under a tremendous amount of pressure to not only perform at the University of Oklahoma, but you have Heisman expectations. You have guys before you that previously won a Heisman. You have guys before you that previously were first-round picks. You have all these weapons around you, as well as a top 5 offense in the country. So the way that he has developed into his own role, his own mold is just impressive in itself. And I'm glad I've been a part of it, and I'm looking forward to what he does in the future. So I'm proud of him, not only as a teammate, but just, even if I was a fan or just any person watching football in general, So, yeah, I'm proud of Spencer in this year.
Appreciate that, Jeremiah.
James Hale, and then Keegan Renault.
Jeremiah, the ability to run the ball at Oklahoma has been stellar. You guys have always been able to run it. It was a little bit more of a challenge against Baylor in that defense, and you guys have talked about how you didn't feel like you played that well. You're going to go against another pretty good front at West Virginia. Getting back to running the ball well, I would think, would be a priority before you get to the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah. Running the ball is a matter of dominating the man in front of you at the line of scrimmage. Not only myself, but our offensive line has to step it up. They know that. Creed knows that. Adrian and those guys, everybody else, they know that. And so, point blank period, we got to be better at the point of attack. And there's really nothing else to say about it. But this weekend, we got to be better. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Thanks, man.
Keegan Renault, and then Lee Benson.
Yeah, you just kind of touched on it a second ago with the blocking in the offensive line. What is it? What does it say about you that this coaching staff is entrusting you to kind of go one-on-one with some of these, better, edge rushers, in the Texas game, kind of on the rest of the season? That you're getting a lot of one-on-one opportunities as an H-back against these guys.
I don't really think about it too much, but here, it's my job, So a lot of times I'm just like, all right, I got to go out there and do my job. But when I think about it, it just goes back to the trust that I've developed with the coaches and what I've put on film. I obviously just said earlier that I gave up a sack, so I myself have to be better. But looking back on who I faced and the talent that we've gone up against, yeah, I can say for the most part that I've held it down, and I appreciate Coach Riley and Beat 'em both for letting me do that.
What is it about the pass blocking that as the H-back? Because like Braden Willis obviously does it. Stogner lines up outside some more sometimes. How did you have to develop in terms of pass blocking to be able to be a cohesive part of this offense?
It takes a lot of focus off the field. So what I mean by that is that it's not like I play left tackle. I don't get every snap to figure out whether or not somebody's going to bull rush me, somebody's going to attack me up the field, or whether they're going to be an interior threat. I only get a few one-on-one opportunities a game when it comes to pass blocking. So you got to figure it out then and there. You got to watch the film and know your opponent before the first snap. And we do a good job of that. Coach Beamer makes sure we're prepared going into every single game, and we work on it throughout the week. So that's my point of view from an H-back spot. You don't get many reps, so you got to be ready when the time comes.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Lee Benson and then Parker Thune.
Hey, Jeremiah, you all are on track to play your full schedule of games, and then, and additionally, the Big 12 title. When you look around college football and you see other teams not getting a chance to play a full schedule, is there a sense of pride, in your team and in your conference that you're able to get this far with very few issues for the most part?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think we'd make it. I didn't think that we would make it this far, and it's a blessing to even play football at this point. I told the team this last week before our game, or before Baylor. We truly don't know when our next game will be our last, especially when it comes to this season. We had a lot of guys missing last week, and that just goes to show that you can't take advantage of any opportunity. You have to take advantage of every opportunity that we have to be out there on Saturday. And yeah, I'm proud of our staff. I'm glad that Scott and the rest of the staff put together a good plan for us, and for the most part, it's worked out pretty well. And I'm just happy to be playing college football at this point.
Okay, last two questions, Parker Thune and then Joey Helmer.
Jeremiah, I'm curious, as one of the elder statesmen in that locker room, what your mentality is going to a week like this when you know that you're going to be playing in the Big 12 championship 2 weeks from now. Is it more difficult to prepare for this game just because you know that the outcome, regardless of what it is, you guys are going to be playing for another conference championship on the 19th? Or is it almost easier to put the pedal to the metal, just realizing that you're this close to the finish line and kind of push through there?
No, we actually have a chip on our shoulder, and Coach Riley said it best after the Baylor game. We have the most reasons to want to go out here this weekend and prove to ourselves that we are who we say we are. As an offense last week, we didn't play to our standard, and so if anything, we need to get right before going into the Big 12 championship. So the fact that we didn't play good last week is making us press the gas even harder, and that's our mentality for the week. We're not really worried about the Big 12 championship.
Appreciate that, Jeremiah.
And Joey Helmer.
Yeah, one more Beamer question. It'd be easy for him right now just to focus on exactly just everything he's got going on at South Carolina, but he emphasized yesterday that he wants to finish things out with you guys. What does that mean to you guys, that he wants to finish the season out with you?
It means the world to me, because I can only imagine what it's like being a head coach, especially transitioning to one. You got to possibly fire a bunch of people. You got to hire a bunch of people. You got to keep recruits. You got to make phone calls. There's a December signing day coming up, and the list goes on and on and on. And so I respect Beamer so much. I know the man's probably only got like 6 hours of sleep within the past 3 days. And so his loyalty to the H-back room and this team is the reason why I love him so much. Like I said earlier, he's a genuine coach. He coaches with his heart on his sleeve. And so I know he'll do the same thing when he goes to South Carolina, but at the same time, he knows and I know that we got stuff to take care of here. And I'm thankful for him staying.